2 ounces of butter. We're going to be making a roux out of this. So 2 ounces of butter, clarified butter. How much flour are we going to need?
2 ounces.
2 ounces, okay? A quart of milk. So this is a new sauce, guys. So 2 ounces of butter, clarified butter, 2 ounces of flour, a quart of milk, an onion piqué. Okay, for this much, about 1/8 of an onion. Okay, and it's going to be a bay leaf, and it's going to be picked with the clove. Onion piqué. Okay, salt, pepper, and bechamel has to be finished with nutmeg.
Finished with?
How much?
A couple grates. Best if we can use whole nutmeg. We'll grate it. Okay, so we get this guy simmering. Okay, we need to make sure, why are we simmering this? Why don't we just take it and strain it right now?
Because you're letting the flavors come out.
Okay, one of the reasons we want to simmer it, we want to cook our roux in here. We want to make sure that that roux, that liquid's being cooked into the roux, and then when we cook it into the roux is starting to get soft, so then it's starting to gelatinize, and we're not going to get a starchy flavor out of it. You have to cook the flour. Okay, so bechamel, 2 ounces of clarified butter. Okay, now butter. Butter can be warm, but you do not want it to be hot. If the butter is hot and you add your flour, okay, the flour's not going to be able to open up to accept your liquid. The flour has a protein around it, it's going to be sealed. Okay, kind of like if you're cooking a chicken leg and you got to put it in hot butter, it seals it. Same thing with the flour when you're making a roux. So make sure your butter is not exceptionally hot. Okay, add your flour. Okay, we're going to be making what's called a white roux.
White roux?
White roux, we're going to cook it about 5 minutes.
Well, the recipe you just gave us is for the white roux.
This is for the white roux. Okay, a bechamel takes a white roux. Okay, now this roux, it's a little bit thin. We're going to add just a touch more flour to it. You know, that's what I said to you guys as far as being able to adapt. See how thin this is? You want it to be the consistency of wet sand, but you do not want it to be runny. Okay, it shouldn't be runny like this. So add just a touch more flour to it. Okay, we talked about humidity and moisture in the air and how that's going to affect your flour. Okay, so we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. Okay. And we're cooking it to make sure that those granulations of flour are starting to open up. Okay. That way when we add our liquid, which for our bechamel is, what type of liquid are we using? We're using milk. Okay. Okay, another thing to always remember. Hot roux, cold liquid. Okay? And just the opposite too. Cold roux, hot liquid, right? If your roux is hot, you want your liquid to be cold, or vice versa. Okay? Some places they'll make about 3 or 4 gallons of roux at a time, and then when they need to thicken a sauce, they'll go out and grab it in the cooler, and then they'll take and heat their liquid up. If they're making bechamel, they heat their milk up, then they whisk in their roux. Okay? And if your roux is hot and your liquid is hot, you're going to get lumps. And if they're both cold, you're going to get lumps. You want them to be opposite. So we're going to have hot roux here, and we're going to have cold milk. I like to use a wooden spoon to do this because it has a flat base. It lets me get a good stir going on here. This cooks really quickly because we don't have a whole lot of roux here. Okay, we're stirring this occasionally because it can't scorch if we don't. And then we go to add our milk. We're going to use a whisk to stir it. Can I get another whisk from the back? Thank you, patient. Okay, roux. When you think of roux, you want to think of a sandy consistency, whether it be a white roux, a blonde roux, or a brown roux. Okay, you don't want it to be real dry because it's not going to incorporate your liquid very well. Thank you very much. Okay, so right now we've got a white roux. Okay, this is what it should look like. Okay, that's what it should look like. That's what your consistency should be. Consistency of wet sand. Thinking about the times you made sand castles when you were a little kid. Okay, that's what we want it to look like. Okay, like wet sand. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna whisk in our milk. Same procedure, a little bit at a time. Okay, what's the temperature of gelatinization? 180 degrees. Okay, so we gotta bring this up to 180 degrees, and it'll start to gelatinize. See what it's doing already? Okay, it's turning into like a paste, so we're gonna keep adding more. And as we add it, we're gonna keep whisking. I'm gonna let it come to a simmer so it can gelatinize.
Gotta have some muscles in it on. Get tired.
If you just add the milk and not whisk it, the milk will get stuck to the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, it wouldn't incorporate properly. You want to whisk it as you go. And as with the volute, you want to add it at about a third at a time. And let it come to a simmer, let it gelatinize. As it's gelatinizing, flour granules are opening up and they're starting to absorb the milk. Okay, we want to continue to stir this over low heat. Okay, after we get this in the consistency we want, we're going to put in our onion piqué. Then we're going to let it simmer. Okay, one of the reasons we have to thicken this before we add our onion piqué, the onion has so much of acid in it. If you do not thicken it up and you add it into the milk, it would separate the milk into what's called kernel. Okay, with our garlic, we're also going to do a demo on garlic. We're going to chop garlic. We are going to do a garlic paste. And we're going to do it in mince. Mince means to slice in French.
How do you spell that? Mince?
E-M-I-N-C-E-R. Mince. Okay, see it's thickening again. See how thick it's getting again? Okay, turning into like a paste. Okay, we can add some more milk to that. You can use cream, but it makes it really heavy because you have your roux, you have your flour, your butter, and your cream. It's kind of like overkill, so it's fat. Yeah, it can be used, but it's pretty heavy.
And that's basically what we had yesterday with that sausage gravy, right, Chef? That white roux.
Yeah, it was, they cooked their sausage, and then they added flour to that to soak up the sausage grease up with that, and then they added milk to that. So they made a roux with the fat from the sausage. Roux is just the definition of roux is fat and flour, equal parts. Okay, so sauces. What are sauces all about? Why do we make sauces? Add flavor, okay. Appearance, what else? Cha-ching. Okay. We can get more money for a nice sauce on a product, okay. It'll take a a chicken dish you can get $10 for, and you can bring it up to 15, 17. Okay? We want to make money. We want to pay our bills. Sometimes it's not about making money, it's just about paying bills. You know? Okay, so we've got 2 of our mother sauces here. What are our other 3? Tomato, okay? 5 mother sauces. Why are they called mother sauces? Okay, you can make little babies from the mother sauces, and they're called small sauces.
Did you say another name was grand sauce?
Grand sauces. Some people call them leading sauces. But Europeans traditionally call them mother sauces. Okay, so take a little while. See as it comes to a simmer, it's starting to get thicker. You can always keep controlling the consistency with the milk. We want to simmer it lightly, just to cook the flour out of the roux. But we don't want to boil it. We don't want to scorch it. It will scorch at the bottom, even though these pineapples have very heavy bottoms. So when we turn it down, we want to turn it way down so it just simmers. What's simmering? What's the temperature of simmering?
180.
What's that? 160 to 180. Okay. Boiling is 12. Okay, so it's coming to a simmer. Okay, we're going to turn it down. Okay, what are we going to do next? Add the piquet. Okay, about 25 minutes simmering. Since the piquet's in there, I'm going to take this guy out and I'm going to use a spoon to stir it with, so we don't disturb the piquet. Okay, so bechamel. Okay, we're going to season, salt, pepper, some nutmeg, and then we're going to strain through chinois. When we strain through chinois, we're going to use a ladle to push it through to get as much as we can extract it. If we didn't have a chinois, we could use cheesecloth and a china cap. We always want to make sure to get our cheesecloth damp.
Damp?
Damp. Yes, if the cheesecloth is not damp, you're going to lose a lot of your sauce in the cheesecloth. It'll just soak it up. But if it's damp, it'll go through, and you won't lose maybe about 1/8 of your sauce in the cheesecloth.
Yes, chef.
Okay, so we're going to let these simmer. We're going to do some demos on some knife cuts.